Hello, entrepreneurial fans. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. And as I say every week, we continue to stream stories of leadership, entrepreneurship, and how people are dealing with this economy. Now, my next guest, first time for me, welcome, Geri Berdak, CEO, the Dairy Alliance.
Yes. Thank you,
Well,
Jeffrey.
thank you. Tell us about the Dairy Alliance.
The Dairy Alliance. So I'm the CEO of the Dairy Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization funded by dairy farm families here in the Southeast. We cover an 8-state area here in the Southeast, and we work diligently with dairy farmers to promote dairy foods and knowledge about the dairy industry.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that because I think that's very important. The dairy industry goes through a lot of changes, doesn't it? And there's a lot of press out there or information, misinformation that you must have to deal with every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Dairy farming is really a business field for a lot of farmers. And I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of effort and technology that goes into dairy farming. And these days consumers really don't know where their food comes from. And so there's a lot of misinformation out there around dairy farming or farming in general. And one of the roles we play is to educate consumers about how their food is produced, how dairy is produced, and not only that, but also the valuable nutrition that dairy provides in your lives, in people's lives. Nutrition is critically important too, and we're a growing population, and so dairy really is a critical element. So for us, it's really helping consumers understand that, but then also looking for how we can help catalyze technology and ways that allow dairy farmers to be more productive, but in ways that are environmentally friendly as well. And then finding technologies that enable milk to be produced in a more healthy way, whether it's increasing the protein content or make it more convenient using packaging technology or even recyclable technology. So we do all of these things, and the goal really is to help our dairy farmers here in the Southeast become successful and contribute to the societal health and planetary health that we all care about.
Well, not relevant to you and your association, but when I was a young man, I lived on a dairy farm for a summer.
Ah,
And the purpose wasn't the dairy farm. It was to learn French, but I really enjoyed the experience. It was quite eye-opening for me, even to this day, the experience of living on an old-fashioned dairy farm and how hard they worked. Just how hard they worked, and taught me a lot about hard work.
yeah.
How do you get a job like that? It must be somewhat of a political position as well.
Not necessarily political. We don't do any lobbying. We just focus really on education because we're a checkoff program. But for me, I just felt honored to be invited to lead this organization. I think it's been an opportunity for me to use all my talent and all my knowledge and experience I've accumulated over my career to really help dairy farmers in this area. But I've always had a connection to food and agriculture. So my father, he grew up on a farm in Iowa, and I used to visit that farm pretty frequently. And like you, I appreciated just the hard work and dedication of that farming lifestyle. And I really appreciated the culture that the farming community had and just the food and experience on a farm. And like I said, I was just fortunate to have the opportunity because not many people do have that today. Back in the day, that was really prominent. We all had like 2 layers of connection to a farm, right? But nowadays, it's just not the case. But that connection and curiosity just really drew me into studying more and just curiosity about learning about food, about how food's produced, food science, and then later in my career realizing that skill set was really important for business, so getting my MBA. But I started my career in dairy, and I moved through a variety of strategic marketing and public affairs and innovation roles in the food industry, including Dearborn Supermarket, which is a local supermarket in St. Louis. I worked for the United Soybean Board for a number of years, leading their domestic marketing programs. DuPont Nutrition, there they did really ingredients that allowed food formulators to make their products healthy. And then PepsiCo, where I helped kind of think about ways of transitioning their portfolio to healthy. And then I also worked for the National Checkoff Program, which is called DMI, located in Chicago. And throughout all these roles, I led teams that were focused on developing creative business strategies in the area of market development innovation. And I think that knowledge just kind of, like I said, allowed me to kind of think about how I can apply what I've learned and, just across the food chain, the value chain, to really bring value here and make a contribution to the Southeast dairy farmers here in the area.
Well, I was going to ask you what your background was, and did you always have a plan?
I didn't always have a plan. I think life takes you where you're going, you just follow it. I've just always been interested in nutrition and always been interested in food. And I've just been fortunate because it turns out, the world cares about these things too. And I've just, learned as I go. And I guess every experience gives me an opportunity to understand something I don't know, and then a chance to move to something else that gives me that background. So I've just been really lucky where my career has taken me. And I've just been really happy with what I chose as a profession, food, nutrition, and agriculture, just really valuable. Just really enjoyed it a lot.
Did you know that you always wanted to lead an organization, or when did you realize that?
I never put it out as a goal to lead an organization, but I've always had, I think, passion for leadership skills. I've always led teams, and I've always had passion for growing and developing teams, and very much focused on making a significant contribution in the work that I do for the organizations I work within. So I think that curiosity, that ability to continuously improve, the ability to take others along, have just enabled me to get to a point where, or others have appointed me to have that opportunity to do that. And so it just took me to where I am today. And I've always, I think, had a little bit of an entrepreneur spirit in myself. And I think in the role I have now, it gives me that freedom to lead, but also continuously improve and curiosity to do different things and make a difference in different ways for the farmers here in the Southeast.
So, most industries that we talk to are going through incredible change and expect in the next 3 to 5 years to have more dramatic change than they've ever experienced before. What can we look forward to seeing, or maybe not look forward, but what would we be seeing in the future of the dairy industry of the South? Any changes?
Yeah, so we are, the dynamic elements of the dairy industry here in the United States is that population is just growing here in the South and on the East Coast. And so we're finding that there are fewer dairy farms in this area. However, we have this growing population. And so there's a need to find ways to ensure that our dairy farms stay successful in this area by finding ways to continue to produce milk, local milk for our population, and find ways to do that in innovative ways. So looking at, aseptic packaging or lactose free, as we learn about choice and where consumers are looking for different ways of the different kinds of milks, looking for lactose free, just flavor, new products for milk to be in, like coffee beverages, just continuously looking for ways to reinvent milk, talk about the benefits of milk in a different way. So I think we all have had and learned, what milk does. As kids, we've had it. We know it's been important for growth. But also there's a lot more research showing that, it's the perfect performance beverage. We look at like Gatorade and other things, but milk itself, just the nutritional composition of it with its carbohydrates, electrolytes, and high quality protein, make it the perfect beverage for performance. So just helping to redefine milk in a way where consumers think of it differently and think of it in their modern lifestyles. And then also continuing to tell the story of our dairy farmers. They are entrepreneurs and they are business people. They're third and fourth generation farmers. They constantly look into the future and find ways to be more efficient in the way that they take care of their land and their animals. And so telling that story so that those consumers that didn't get a chance to have experience of being on a farm like I or you have, to kind of show them how dairy farming is so critical to society, as well as how they do it in a way that protects and they're stewards of their land. So we are here in the Southeast, really committed to looking at innovation to make milk be more convenient and more healthy and reinvent it in the consumers' minds, but also really connecting consumers to agriculture so that they recognize the value that dairy farmers put into sustainability and their commitment to that.
Wow, Geri, yeah, I'm so glad I asked you the last question, and I'm glad I got you into a benefit rant on the future and the dairy industry. It was very, very helpful for me to listen to, and it made me think through a lot of things. And I've always loved chocolate milk. That's how my tutors as a kid got me to do my homework. Geri, if someone wants to know more about you, connect with you, the Dairy Alliance, how would they find you?
They can find us by going to the website, going www.thedairyalliance.com. You'll also find the Dairy Alliance on X, formerly Twitter, and also on Instagram. So just check us out. You'll learn more. You'll see some actual video of our farmers. You'll learn about all the great benefits of milk and some of the great innovation and research that we're investing in here in the Southeast. So
Well, that's just great and exciting. And I hope you come back again in the next year or so and tell us about other updates with the organization. Thanks for being on Radio Entrepreneurs today, Geri. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. We'll be right back after this break.